All right, this is target 1A, identifying the concept of an expression. And let's start with some vocabulary. An algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase which can contain numbers, operators such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division, and at least one variable such as x or y to represent operations. So an example of this would be 5x plus 3. You've probably seen these before. And this is different from the next vocabulary word, but let me give that to you now. An algebraic equation. An algebraic equation is an algebraic expression that is set equal to a number or another algebraic expression. So an example of this would be 5x plus 3 equals 18. So what's the difference? An expression has no equal sign. An equation does. Remember, equation. So we've got this part of the word here, and you can just say, okay, that's the same as saying equal to. So an equation has an equal sign. And then finally, perimeter. Perimeter is a measurement of the outside of a closed shape, such as a square, rectangle, or circle, or triangle, any closed shape, basically. All right, so to determine the value of a given expression, you might be asked to find the value of an expression where you're given a value for the variable in the equation. Now, what does that mean? So let's take a look at an example problem that you might have. What is the value of 3x squared minus 2x? Okay, so that's an expression, but then it also tells you when x equals 2. So we need to figure out what that is. So the first step is going to be to determine what value is being substituted for what variable. In this case, we're saying that x is the same as 2. So we're going to replace x in the equation with 2. And I've kind of color-coded this for you here. So we substitute that value in for the variable. In other words, anywhere you see an x is going to be a 2 now. So 3 times 2 squared minus 2 times 2. Now be careful here because this is x squared. So you're only squaring the x. So that's why I did it like this. I put the parentheses around the 2. So that tells me that only this 2 is going to get squared. If it was written like this, that would be a different story. Now we'd be squaring the whole thing, but that's not what we're doing, okay? So let me just get rid of that. All right. And then we're going to simplify the expression as much as we possibly can. So now that we don't have any variables, we can go ahead and simplify this down. So we're going to take 2 squared, because remember your order of operations. We've got PEMDAS. Hopefully you've heard that before. If not, this stands for parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So again, parentheses first, and then take care of the exponent, then take care of multiplication, then take care of division, and then take care of addition, and then subtraction. So we square because we have the parentheses, but there's nothing inside it except the 2. So that crosses that out. Then we go to exponent. So we do 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, and now we're going to do multiplication. So 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4. So we have 12 minus 4. And your answer is 8. So this would be your answer here. Fairly simple. Let's take a look at an example of this problem. Now, whenever I say example in these videos, that means that there's going to be a problem like this on quizzes and tests. So you definitely want to make sure that you understand these. So, what is the value of x to the third plus x when x equals 5? Again, replace x with 5. That's step 1, which is going to give you 5 to the third power plus 5. Now you do 5 to the third power using your order of operations again, and you'll get 125 plus 5, which is 130. So the answer is 130. Okay? Hopefully you have that. If it's confusing, I want you to make a note in your notes to ask me about it. Ask questions. All right, so now let's use an algebraic expression to represent a geometric concept such as perimeter. So we can use algebraic expressions to model many real-world situations. You're going to have word problems and all kinds of things that you have to do this with. Okay, in this example, we're going to determine the simplest form of an expression to model the perimeter of a geometric shape. So when I say simplest form, what I want you to do is combine like terms, get it down to the smallest expression or number or whatever that you possibly can. So again, remember the perimeter of an object is the measurement of the outside of the shape. So in this case, we have a triangle, so we've got 3 sides, all of them happen to be equal, and we're just going to add them up because that's what perimeter is. So we do 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1. Okay? That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is saying, okay, well, I've got 3 sides here and they're all the same, so I could do 3 times 2x plus 1. So you do whichever way is easiest for you. This way is just as good as this way. You're going to get the same answer. Pick which one you want and go with it. Okay, we combine like terms. In this case, we've got a 2x, a 2x, and a 2x. Okay, you can't combine variables with whole numbers. Okay, you can only combine variables with other variables if they have the same variable. In this case, all of these have an x. Okay, if this one was x squared, you couldn't use it. Okay, you couldn't combine all 3 of these. You could only combine these 2. We'll get into that at a later date though. For now, just know that these all have to have the same variable. We have an x, and an x without any exponent. So 2x plus 2x plus 2x, and then you have your constants, your numbers that don't have variables, 1, 1, and 1. Okay, so 2x plus 2x plus 2x plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Simplified would be 6x plus 3. Now, if you want to go the little more advanced route, say, okay, well, all 3 of these are the same, so I can just do 3 times that, and you can distribute the 3. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 1 is plus 3. Same answer. But again, do whichever one is easiest for you. Let's look at another example. All right, so again, this is example 2, so pay attention. Determine the expression used to represent the perimeter of the geometric figure. Here, all 4 sides are equal, so this is what? A square. Okay, and not that that's important, I just want to see if you guys are paying attention here. So we've got 4 sides, all of them have a measurement of 2x. Write the expression as 2x plus 2x plus 2x plus 2x. That covers all 4 sides. Okay, so take a minute, pause this, see if you can figure out what the answer is. Your next step would be to combine like terms. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 8. And then you keep the x the way it is. That gives you 8x. Or, since it's a square and all 4 sides are equal, you could do 4 times one of the sides, which is 4 times 2x, which also gives you 8x. Which happens to be your answer because you can't simplify it anymore. So 8x is the answer here. Again, if you have questions, please ask. All right, some things to remember because that's it. That's all you are learning for this day. These things to remember, this is for the entire year. Take good notes, especially where it says example. Remember, watching this and taking notes is your homework. As long as you do this, that's all the homework you have. You choose not to do this, and there's going to be consequences. You will not like the consequences, trust me. And finally, if there's something you don't understand, write the question down so that you don't have to worry about remembering it. You don't, later on in the class say, oh, darn it, I should have asked that. So write the question down, and then when you get to class, it'll be right there in front of you, and ask me, okay? And that's all there is to it. Hopefully you will get the hang of this as time goes on, and all should be well.